What's up, YouTube? Hey, shut up so I can introduce the show.
Jesus.
Shit. Anyway, what's going on, guys? This is episode 16 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. I forgot the fucking title of the show tonight, so whatever. And we're happy everybody's here with us. We got Jeff Meyer filling in for us again because Brandon couldn't make it. So, Jeff, it's nice to welcome you back to the show.
You mean Brian, because I'm right here.
I said Brian.
Oh, whatever, I heard Brandon.
I said Brian. What?
All right, fair enough. Who am I to judge?
I don't.
I'll grab a Q-tip and clean the shit out of my ears.
I don't know what that. I don't. Well, hold on.
This is already a great start.
No, dude, I had the YouTube video open in another window, and I was hearing myself talk, and I was like, "Holy shit, what's happening?"
That'll do that.
That really fucked me up for a minute. So, and Steve will most likely be joining us here within the next 10 minutes or so. He got held up. What's going on, guys? How's the week going for everybody?
It's a good one.
It could be better.
Yeah, it could. It could. Specifically because you lost that Rocket League match you were playing right before you came on. So.
No, I won.
Don't bullshit us.
I won the 6 matches that I played. It's my first. It's my first couple games back from a 2-week hiatus.
I know, and you lost because you're rusty.
I thought I was going to be rusty, but I came right back.
Why haven't we played Rocket League together yet?
I don't know.
What's going on with that? We need to fix that. Maybe tonight we can fix that.
We need to do a Super Deformed Gamescast Plays Rocket League #2.
So, check it out, guys. There's something I want to talk about right off the bat. And if anybody who follows me on Twitter knows that I kind of got into it with Jason Schreier at Kotaku the other day over their reveal of the Assassin's Creed set in Egypt, which is skipping this year and is coming out next year. No, dude, I got into it with Schreier.
I didn't see this.
Oh no,
I saw it.
Did you start it? What'd you say?
Hell yeah, I started it. So let me just go ahead and say it just right off the bat. What Kotaku does with revealing these games, and they just haven't done it to Ubisoft, they've done it to Bethesda too, it's absolute bullshit. I hate it when they do this, and I'll tell you why. Because, Schreier got on, Jason Schreier got on Twitter, and he says, we're doing this because it's news, and it's breaking news, and people need to know this, and if, we need to tell the people reading our site. And I was like, dude, it's not like this is fucking corruption. Okay, it's not like this is, Naughty Dog, for example, laying off 60 employees for no reason. It's not like this is, Bobby Kotick, buying off, whatever. This isn't a pressing issue that people or gamers need to know about. This is a product that somebody has worked on very hard for the past several years, and I'm sure that they were very excited about actually revealing this shit on their own time. And now that is all ruined. It's
what
all
do you care?
gone.
Do you work for Ubisoft PR?
No, I don't work for Ubisoft. No, I don't. However, having said that, I know people in game development, and they take this shit seriously, dude. Why can't we just have why can't we just have a fucking game reveal?
It's not Kotaku's responsibility to protect their little marketing scheme.
I think it is. I think it is, dude.
No, it's not. They're independent. They only work for themselves. And
No, hold on. I understand that they have the right to report on this stuff. That's fine. Nobody's telling them that they can't, me included. But
they're already blacklisted. Like,
but that's the other thing, dude. They do shit like this. They didn't just do it to Ubisoft. They did it to Bethesda too with the whole Fallout 4 shit. They reported on the setting in Boston. They reported on Preston Garvey. They reported on lines of dialogue and quests from the fucking game, and they got blacklisted.
They're trying to prove that they can still run a news site without having to rely on spoon-fed PR details from publishers.
And that's great, but then they have the balls to complain about being blacklisted and say that they're being targeted unfairly because they're reporting the news. And what that is, what they're doing, it's not reporting the news.
I remember that article. I mean, yeah, okay, they were a little bit overly self-defensive, a little bit self-aggrandizing even.
Any journalist is going to want the hot scoops, though. They get off on that. That's
what they do. That's their job. I mean,
the newest stuff. I want to put that. I want to be the first to report such and such. And so I can kind of see it from that point of view, where he's like, "Hey, we got this awesome, cool information. We're gonna put it out there." But I see what you're saying too. Is the whole other aspect of people have been working on this for years.
I see both sides, but I just want to. I mean, I don't read Kotaku, so I don't want to defend them as a site. I don't know what type of stuff they normally write, but
It's smarmy.
my only issue with this,
They write everything. They just they're a blog. They just post everything without.
my concern if they're holding something like this back is where do you draw the line on what they report and what they don't? Is it a game
you don't
announcement?
draw the line really. That's
Yeah, I mean, it's not up to them to decide. My issue, if they're planting people inside Ubisoft and doing kind of shady practices to get the scoops, that's an issue to me. But if it comes to them, I don't know.
yeah. They get I mean, they have sources,
Yeah.
anonymous tips, and whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is this: is just because they have the information doesn't mean that they need to report on it. Like this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't news. It's not journalism. It's clickbaity bullshit.
But they're not a journalism site. They're a gaming blog. Like
No,
you know,
but no. Jason Schreier refers to himself as a gaming journalist.
Well, absolutely he does. But I mean, it's still doing journalism to dig out leaked information.
Well, Brandon, I'll tell you this much: you've got people in chat who actually agree with you.
He's not a marketing. I mean, he's not a marketing guy. He only works for the only person that he has to report to is Stephen Totillo. So I mean, that's his only responsibility basically.
IB003G0676 in chat says he totally agrees with anti-drop. That's bullshit. No offense, dude, but come on.
No, I know. I see where you're coming from because I remember the argument when that Totillo article went up a few weeks ago, maybe months ago. But
I don't know, man.
We're bringing up a debate from a couple months because when they wrote that article about defending themselves.
And that's the article I was referring to. But don't sit there and fucking say, oh, we're being targeted unfairly for reporting the news when you know goddamn well why you've been blacklisted by these companies, dude.
Well, yeah, you're right on that. They had to own up to it a little bit, and they kind of tried to shirk off the responsibility there.
So, and if they're gonna do that, fine. But don't call yourself a fucking gaming journalist if that's the case, because you're not.
Schreier is like the #1 journalist going for games right now.
I disagree.
He's like the guy in the entire industry that deserves the title of games journalist.
No, I gotta agree with that.
I think Patrick Klepek is 10 times as well as he is.
Yeah, they're both up there. But I mean, Schreier's the one who's digging out all the stories. He's doing the hard hitting, like behind the scenes.
This isn't a story. It's not a story. It's a game that's under development, and now
it's not a huge deal. Unless you're like a PR guy that works for Ubisoft and he blew all your plans. To the general gaming public, who cares?
I care. A lot of people care too. I mean, shit, dude, the people making the game care, man. I mean, I'm sure this is something.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you work for the company, unless you're directly involved in the development of the game, it doesn't affect you in any like meaningful way. It's just a tease.
John will remember that. Nice.
What bothers me is that a lot of these sources, I think, are within Ubisoft or involved with the development of the game, and I can't believe that.
And they need to be weeded out and fired because they're.
I just can't believe that they would do that. Like John said, people work really hard on keeping this a secret, developing it, and I can't imagine.
Well, I mean, think about how many people's hands touch these fucking Assassin's Creed.
500,000. Well, you've seen the
in every country of the world. It's not hard for somebody to leak that shit out eventually.
I don't know, man. For whatever reason, dude, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I can't even. Maybe I can't even tell you why. But to me, it's not. For somebody who calls himself a gaming journalist, it's not journalism. It's just. I don't know, man. That's just me.
I think it's far worse when you have people like IGN's, like Mitch Dyer. Back in when remember he started the Straley and Druckmann forcing people out of Naughty Dog.
Oh God, I know that whole shit with
starting rumors based on absolute bullshit like that is infinitely worse than
And they never even
a game before it's
never even corrected their original article after Naughty Dog made their statement. They posted a new article.
That is journalism that hurts people.
I agree.
Revealing the new Assassin's Creed game that's still going to sell a shitload of copies.
I don't know, man. Maybe my bigger issue is doing it and then bitching about being blacklisted. Maybe
I totally get that.
If you can't take the heat, stay out of the fucking kitchen.
They do kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to spill the details, but they still want to have the exclusive access.
And maybe I'm a little biased because Kotaku is owned by Gawker, and Gawker pulled some really heinous shit.
Gawker is the devil, man. Yeah.
Dude, Gawker is fucking awful. If you remember what they did to that gay guy last year. Or that preacher. Yeah, I can't remember all the details, but it was awful what Gawker did. And I don't know, anything that has Gawker's signature on it, I automatically.
Sure, but I mean, you got to take Kotaku just as the people who are there working, fighting for it. It's mostly small staff, you know.
Hold on. Somebody in chat is asking an interesting question. Were they blacklisted first? Was Kotaku blacklisted first?
I think they were.
They've been blacklisted for years.
Yeah, and so that's why they don't care about
Unity
anymore. They're just like, they have no qualms with leaking stuff like this because, like, screw you.
They got blacklisted when they revealed Unity as Victory.
Okay, all right, so that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
And then I guess Bethesda didn't have them blacklisted until the fall.
Oh wait, no, it was Syndicate that was Victory. Whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about Kotaku. Just talking about them gets me pissed off.
Yep.
So something else I wanted to talk about, and it is the Oculus Rift reveal, specifically the price of $600. And there's been a lot of kerfluffle on the internet about, is this too expensive?
I mean, if you were surprised, you just weren't paying attention to all the warning signs that they've been throwing out left and right for the last few months.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw Palmer Lucky's response.
Yeah. He was shoving his foot in his mouth all day.
So for anybody who didn't see this, somebody asked Palmer Lucky, hey, based on the price of your of your thing. Here, when you change them, the monetary value and account for the difference in value, it's going to be over $1,000 for me, and that's way too expensive. And Palmer Lucky answered back, "Blame your country, not me."
That's some Adam Orth shit.
That is some absolute Adam Orthy shit right there, man.
He didn't help things out though. Like I think it was like a year ago or something, where they were wanting him to throw out a ballpark figure, and he said something around like $1,500, and that was speaking about not only the Rift, but then the hardware to run the Rift as well. And so people came up in arms and stuff, and they were just, they're like, "What? Are you serious? Like $1,500? That's a lot for just the Rift." And he's like, "Oh, I'm talking about everything that you need to run it." And then he threw out the 350 figure, and people, I think, were more upset that they didn't get the 350 figure instead of, it was just a big swing from 1,500 to 350, and then people were thinking, oh, it'll be 350, and especially since the beta of it was 350, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So I think they set unrealistic expectations just based on what they said, and even him, I read an article that he was saying, yeah, we probably handled that a little bit wrong, but I don't think it's a huge deal that it's 600.
He's probably. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was done.
I was just going to say he's probably still upset about that Time magazine cover.
I think the problem is people are looking at it as an accessory, but it's really a platform.
Exactly.
It's just a platform that needs another platform to function. I mean, look at what an iPhone or a tablet costs, right?
Well, no, that's actually a really good point. I mean, people have made that point on Twitter too. Is that like, look, this is actually less than the cost of an iPhone without a contract, mind you, but still. And this is something that's whoa. What was that?
Tornado rolling over.
I know, right, dude? But
funky disease.
I know, God, that was awful. So people have made or have raised that issue, and it's the fact that this is marketed to somebody who's already spent, I don't know, $1.5 grand, $2,000 on a gaming rig. And if you can spend that kind of money, then why not just spend $600 on an Oculus Rift and be done with it? And apparently, the interesting part is this thing is like completely sold out now. Like pre-orders are sold out, and they're not going to have any more until June. So now, granted, we don't know how many of them they've made. They could have made fucking 10. I mean, I doubt it, but who knows? But really, now the question people are asking is, okay, we know how much the Oculus Rift costs. What does this mean for PlayStation VR? How much is that going to cost? Because I think it was Shuhei Yoshida who said that, look, this thing is going to cost what a console does, and in my mind that can mean anything. I mean, the PS3 launched at fucking $599. I don't see it being anywhere near there, but I wanted to see what you guys thought about what this means for PSVR's price, and also people in chat. What do you guys think as well? So let's have it.
I was discussing this on Twitter, I think yesterday, with a few of my followers. They were saying that there's no way that the PSVR will be half of the price of what the Oculus is launched at. And I said that, if he's taking, it depends on what Shuhei is talking about. If he's talking about, PS3 console price or PS4 console prices, if he's talking about a more historic console price or a more modern console price. And so I thought that if you're taking the modern view, that I could totally see it being around $400. And some people said, oh no way. And then the whole 2 screens versus 1 screen thing got brought up. That's why the Oculus is more, because there's 2 screens instead of 1, and apparently the Morpheus is using 1. Is that correct?
I don't know. Shit, I don't know,
either.
dude. Yeah, I have no fucking
I
idea.
don't know much about this shit. I mean, I'm not going to be an early adopter, so I got a lot of time to learn.
I will be an early adopter if it is under $400. If it's above that,
For PSVR, I
I
almost want to buy one just for res.
Well, okay, so I mean, what do we agree is the sweet spot for price on PSVR? I mean, I feel like $299 is going to make it or break it.
$400 bundle.
A bundle of what? A bundle with what though?
Like a game and the accessories.
I can totally see that.
400 will get you core gamers, but I still think for mainstream adoption, kind of like the Kinect crowd for the Xbox, like you'd need $299. I don't see normal people buying in at $400, but
No, definitely not. And it's not targeting normal people.
Sony will be selling it at a loss, though, if you're talking that low. If you're talking $300.
And that's the other thing too is can they? And I understand that they would be selling it at a loss, and I guess that that begs the question: can they even afford to do that? I mean, I know that the PlayStation division is profitable, but Sony's finances haven't been exactly what I would call stable over the past few years. So is this something they can afford to take a loss on?
they can't afford to not get it into people's hands.
Exactly.
They've clearly spent so much
They've
on
invested.
R&D and their studios and development.
So, and I'll give Z Huge a shout out here. He tweeted out earlier today that analysts, and I don't know what analysts, but analysts were predicting a 1.9 million sell-through for PSVR this year. So that's just, I guess, this fiscal year.
Yeah.
That seems high to me.
Yeah, me too.
So when it launches?
Yeah, that's when it launches. Depending on when it launches, I mean, who knows? Maybe they know something we don't. I have no fucking idea when it
I was
launches.
thinking more like a couple 100,000. But, all right,
Yeah,
let's see.
1.9 million for a peripheral. That's what it is. It's a peripheral.
It's a peripheral, but that's what people will see it as.
That seems like quite a bit to me. That seems very optimistic. So I don't know. And this is actually a good time
It needs a
to.
killer app. It needs a killer app. That's what
It does. It does. And as far as I know, it doesn't. I mean, and that's the other thing, dude, is we don't really know
With
what.
a bunch of like little, mini experiences. People aren't going to be paying hundreds of dollars for that. They need it.
Yeah, right, dude. That
needs to be,
waifu
like,
game.
There needs to be like a game of the year quality game to sell that. Which
That
is
one with the zombies in
kinda
cars where you're
arduous.
driving around?
But
Well, what was that game? What was that game with the robot? Robinsons or the Robinson something? Do you guys remember that?
Right.
Robot. I thought that's like the 100-foot robot golf. That's my killer app.
Or no. What's Riggs? Riggs. That game Riggs.
Riggs looks like
I don't even know what it looks
first-person
like. Yeah.
Rocket League.
I
First
actually.
person league, I guess. All I've seen is trailer.
Wait. Hold on. Did JT just say VR Rocket League?
Yeah, basically. That's
Dude,
kinda
you
what
would vomit all over yourself. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, yeah,
I've heard that Riggs is way cooler to actually play than it looks in the trailers.
No, that's what I
there's-
was saying. It's like a first-person shooter at Rocket League. It looks like because you're trying to score these
Yeah.
balls.
No,
right,
you know,
that
I want
pick
like
up.
I want like an American Gladiators game in VR.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
yeah,
why, that would be like running the assault course in VR. I don't know, that'd be really fun.
out in chat, yeah, it's that Crytek game with the dinosaurs and the metal,
I
the
remember
metal
that.
ball that follows you around. Yeah,
We have no idea what that's gonna be.
I have
That
no
was
idea
such
what it
like
is
a
either.
nothing demo. Yeah.
It
Another
looked,
on rails.
it looked
thing.
fucking pretty. I'll tell you
It
that
looks
much.
on rails. Yeah.
But no, and Riggs again, another shout out for Riggs. I think Riggs has, because I've seen video of that game being played. It looks pretty sweet.
Oh, I
I
haven't
know
seen
people
any
who
actual
played it.
gameplay. I've just seen
Yes,
those
I've
shitty
just said it was
trailers.
good.
So this actually leads me to a question we have on Twitter from. Let me pull his name up because I want to give him a shout out. A question we have on Twitter from Johnny Hayden.
What up, Johnny?
At Johnny Superfly. What's going on, Johnny? He wants to know. He says, "I'd be interested to know how many of you are getting it VR in one form or another this year." And I guess that means either Rift or Vive or PSVR. So, is anybody planning on picking this up this year?
It's still up in the air for me. Like I said, it might just come down to Rez. Rez, I love Rez so much that might be a killer app, honestly.
I feel like that could be a killer app for a lot of people, actually.
I love it so much, and just to think about what that experience could be like in VR kind of makes me almost scared at how cool it could be.
Are they selling the vibration suit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would not. We're talking. Oh my God. I would love to go to a trade show just to experience that.
So I don't know. I honestly I think I might pick up PSVR this year. I'm game. Depending on the price, depending on what it comes in at. Yeah.
So they said they're blocking porn on the Oculus, right?
Yeah, which means I'm not. Why would I buy it?
Well, I guess what they said is they're blocking content from the store. I'm sure there'll be some way to work around that.
You know what? If I can't
there's
watch,
no way you will not be able to watch porn on your Oculus.
Brandon has inspired me. If I can't watch The Bitcher with Evan Stone and Sasha Grey on Oculus Rift, then it's trash to me. I don't give a shit about it.
Remastered.
Remastered.
The Bitcher remastered.
The Bitcher. Oh God, that porn still has the greatest subtitle I've ever seen. What is it? The dildo of destiny has two ends.
Oh man.
Jeff and JT, are you guys going to invest? And Gabe, are you guys going to invest in VR this year in any shape, any way, shape, or form?
I have the Oculus pre-ordered, but I don't know if I'll keep it because it's 915 Canadian.
That's so insanely
Jesus Christ!
I can't imagine.
Well, shipping is like 70, and even with the exchange rate.
Oh my God.
Dude, when you pay for that thing and you're eating ramen noodles until December, man, like, let me know.
So here's my line of thinking. They don't charge me until it ships, and my shipping date is May, so I've got some time to decide. And the thing I'm worried about is if our dollar keeps slipping, that if I decide to impulse buy it like a year from now, it's going to be even more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll depend. I probably won't keep it. I just kind of have it there, so if I say fuck it at the last second, I have one available to me. But,
for a lot of people, this is going to be one of those things where like they're going to wait. It's going to be that tech that's really cool, but they're going to wait until the price goes down, which it will after a couple of years.
And imagine how much better the headsets will be in 2 years than like the first models.
Well, actually, dude, from what I've heard, like I can't speak for Oculus, but from what I've heard, the PSVR is like amazingly comfortable to wear in your head. Like it's surprisingly light and very easy to wear, very easy on the eyes too. So yeah, I don't know, man. Who knows? But it's definitely going to be an interesting time this year for PSVR.
I think I want to try it first. I want to go somewhere where they have a demo set up, and they also have wet wipes where you can wipe all the sweaty, greasy.
Well, see, and that right there, that kind of ties into the problem that Sony has had demoing this thing for the past year and a half, and it really showed at PSX was how do you get the point across to the general public without looking like a fucking goon? And because those guys on stage at PSX, man, like that was awkward for I felt uncomfortable watching it. I felt awkward.
Yeah, that's
horrible. For Sony at all.
I think their videos with the multicolored like rectangles over their faces was a much more effective way to market that because it shows the person enjoying it without looking like an idiot, and then you can kind of it's a much better way to present it. But you need a way physically to sell people on it other than
who mentioned a kiosk? Who mentioned actually like putting it maybe in a kiosk? Somebody did, but I mean, there's a problem with that as well. It's the fact that and somebody just now brought this up. Maybe it was Jeff or JT, but when you put that, so I agree with you. When you put that thing on your head, dude, and you take it off, and somebody comes down, like I don't want to put that thing on my head after somebody's been wearing it on their face.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's gross, man.
Pink eye for days.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like, so I could just see somebody farting on that thing and walking away. You know, I'm not saying I would do that.
Or worse.
Or yeah, like rubbing their balls.
The world is a messed up place, man.
I have said it before. And
What goes on in your guys' Best Buys? Jeez.
I have said it.
Watch those security cameras sometime.
I have said it before, and I'll say it again. If anybody's ever, and I will absolutely probably pick one up this year. But if anybody is playing it in front of me, like in my line of sight, my balls will be dangling in front of their face while that thing is on their head. I guarantee it.
Draw a giant
You're not
on the forehead.
helping anything.
Well, the reason I want to get on Oculus early is I just built a new PC, and I'm worried that if I wait 2 years, because it's demanding to run games in VR, right?
Yeah, sure. You need
Yeah.
a headphone.
So I kind of want to get in there while my computer's still decent before I have to go and drop another 500 to upgrade my video card.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got the minimum required video card.
What is it? Is it a 980?
970.
Oh, that's what
But
I have.
how does that work? Like, do the specs change over, like, for different games? Like, how can they just give one video card for VR in general? I don't understand that.
I don't really get that either. I just know that that's what I heard is the 970 will be the cutoff, and I don't know how they would enforce that. I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know if games just won't run well on anything less than that, and then that's how they will enforce it or what. But
Let me ask you guys one more question about VR, then we'll move on. Do you think Sony is looking at Oculus's price reveal with a really critical eye and shaping their strategy around that, looking at people's reactions? Because reaction to this hasn't exactly what I would call favorable. And they were put in the same position in 2013 after Microsoft's E3, and I guarantee you that played a role in knocking that price down to $399. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Oculus Rift's price will actually maybe influence Sony to drop the price for VR?
No.
in the past, they have shown, like what you mentioned, Microsoft's completely flubbing E3 kind of told them everything they needed to hear about this generation. Went, totally for all those people that was crying wolf about the always online and all that stuff, and they're like, hey, our console doesn't have that. So I could see them taking a little bit from that, but I think they have a vision right now. They have a clear goal, what they're setting out to do, and at this point it may be too late to change that. Oculus is launching now, and then depending on maybe early fall for PSVR.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll change the core pricing, but it could influence the way they market or bundle it. In terms of selling a standalone headset, maybe for a really lower price, and then
they might monitor the reception of it once it hits in what is it, March or February? Some people won't get there till June, but I mean, they might think. I don't know how Oculus is planning on marketing, if they're going to run commercials or
It seems pretty clear that they originally meant to include the PlayStation camera with the PS4, and just at the last minute decided to scrap that to save costs and sell it separately. So you could see something similar with their Morpheus. Maybe they'll ditch a couple of the optional accessories.
Yeah, are the Move controllers going to come back? Are we going to see those bundled?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're waving those glowy dildos around, so I would imagine so. I mean, you can't say that's not what they don't look like. I mean, but
Sony's bringing the nunchuck back.
Well, here, the dildo, dude, both ends. But here's the other thing, dude. Like when you're wearing that headset on your fucking head, I can absolutely see that shit going through a TV. Absolutely, somebody's gonna lose their grip on one of those motherfuckers, and it's gonna go flying, and it's gonna hurt somebody. But anyway, we'll move on from VRs. I don't want to harp on that too much. What else is going on in the news? Oh yeah, so I guess it was a few days ago. So Sony released their total number of PlayStation 4s sold through to consumers, not shipped, and it was like literally just shy of 36 million. I think it was 35.
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, but what is the proof?
Where's the proof, man? Come on, dude. Everybody knows Sony's buying those motherfuckers and putting them in a warehouse. Come on, man.
In Kaz's basement.
In Kaz's basement. They're shipping them off overseas. But no, seriously, I mean, in all seriousness, they had a PS4 in December, throughout the holiday season, had a bigger holiday season this year than the PS2 did when aligned over the same time period. I mean, it's huge. That's 36 million. I mean, go ahead.
Units over the holidays. 5.7. It's great.
What was it? 5.7 million
Yeah.
this holiday season.
It was 5 something millions.
That
over
is
5.
You have to imagine that even Sony is looking at PS4 sales and going, guys, we got no fucking idea. Like I'm happy these are selling, but holy shit, like what the fuck is happening, dude, for real? And it's even more interesting to me because I mean, and I'm glad Sony's doing well. I mean, I'm not a fanboy, but I do prefer the PS4 over the Xbox One just because I've been a Sony guy for longer. But Sony sold more than the Xbox One did over the holiday season, and they had, let's face it, they had fewer exclusives than Xbox did. And granted, and just like somebody pointed out in chat, and this is a great point. The Xbox One is still the best-selling Xbox. I mean, consoles overall are doing fucking outstanding right now, which is ridiculous. When you consider the fact that in 2012. People were saying they're dead. It's over, dude. Like, this is it. Nobody's going to buy the PS4 or whatever comes next. Nobody's going to buy the Xbox One. And here we are now with the two of the fastest-selling consoles of all time. I think the PS4 is, like, right behind the Wii as far as, like, fastest-selling consoles go.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the consoles. I'm worried about the games. Budgets are getting so high. It's getting unsustainable.
And they still arrive broken.
They do, and oh god, I have said it time and time again on this podcast, dude. Is that for all the shit people give the Order, and it is a boring fucking game, but it did one thing that almost any other AAA title didn't do, dude. So far, at least, it fucking worked out of the box with that day one patch.
Didn't need any patch. They didn't do anything but patch in a photo mode because that's
it. That's all they did, dude. And when I was playing that game, dude, I didn't say. Alcoholicost says in chat, day one patch the game. Fucking dude, I played the Order for 5 hours. For the 5 hours it took me to finish the Order, I didn't encounter one frame rate drop, one glitch, one bug, one hiccup. I didn't, Galahad didn't fall through the sky once,
Nope. I played it twice for the Platinum Trophy, and nope, not a single bug.
Oh, I was about to say, why'd you play it?
5 hours?
Yeah, it took me about 5 hours to clear the
It took me like 100, close to 100 hours with all that filler content. Oh, wait, that's the 60 other games that came out last year.
Speaking of 60 hours of filler content, Ubisoft did like an exclusive stream of Far Cry Primal today, and that game looks absolutely boring as fuck.
It does, yeah.
So obviously the cynical ass Twitch chat was saying stuff like Far Cry 4 without guns, but that's exactly what it looks like. They just took Far Cry 4, they took out basically everything that I thought made Far Cry 4 look good, like cool to play, and that's it. So the cool things that I liked about Far Cry 4 was the wingsuit, the sidearm grenade launcher, just stuff like that. Some of the weapons, the takedowns got really cool once you started unlocking the stronger ones. But this game just takes all that away. It just makes it more basic, but I don't see what it's adding. It looks like it's taking a lot of stuff away.
What's the replacement for climbing towers? Like, are you climbing trees and lighting fires?
They're keeping that one very close to the chest, obviously, because they know that.
I guarantee
an obvious mocking point.
You're gonna climb like a fucking pine tree and do like a fucking smoke signal or something. That's gonna replace climbing towers.
Tower Babel.
Yeah, no, I saw that exact same thing, and it like completely killed any anticipation I have.
$60 game. Like, why couldn't you just give me another $15 Blood Dragon thing?
I mean, to be honest with you, dude, like it's Far Cry 4 or it's Far Cry 5.
Yeah, but it's really not. So I said before, like, if Far Cry 4 was Far Cry 3.5, then like, what the hell is this?
Are there guns?
No, it's spears and
you get automatic firing spears.
Yeah, like, what the hell? Why did they do this? What is interesting about beating people with clubs and throwing spears? I don't want to do that. I want to shoot people with guns and stab them in the neck in a chain takedown combo.
If I'm gonna play a fucking caveman game, or if I'm gonna play a prehistoric game, I'll wait for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, we already have that kind of thing. And then there was that other game, exactly. There was a little. You know what? I did see a little bit of Xenoclash because there was like some first-person melee combat there, but What was that game that they showed off at the Sony thing? With the witch doctor who was like casting spells and shit.
Oh god,
Wild?
Yeah, that's it. That
Wild.
one.
Yeah, Wild.
So, like we
Yeah,
already
somebody in
have all
chat
these
said that.
games. We already have all these games that are kind of doing like the Apocalyptica thing, or what was that movie? Not Apocalyptica. Was it?
Apocalypto.
Yeah, that one. Anyway, so
Yeah.
we already have movies like some games that are doing that kind of thing.
You think they're trying to go for like the new like up and coming Daisy like survival genre?
No, because it's just Far Cry. It's just Far Cry 4. They're not adding any like survival systems other than what was already there, which is nothing.
What is the guys? How many open world games are post apocalyptic? What's the ratio? I feel like it's a fucking lot.
Other than obviously Fallout 3, 4, and
Other
New
than Fallout,
Vegas.
I mean, you've got Mad Max. I mean, think about
Dying
the
Light. Yeah,
Dying
Mad
Light,
Max, Dying Light,
Rage,
Dead Island.
Enslaved, Odyssey to the West.
That's not an open world game. That was an standard action game.
Yeah, I thought that was open world.
No, it was Ninja Theory. It was like standard.
One Piece, Pirate Warriors 3.
Is that really a post-apocalyptic?
I don't know.
I've never watched
DayZ, H1Z1, fucking State of Decay.
State of Decay
is actually, I don't know, yeah. I felt
State of
like
Decay
there were
is
more.
pretty
State of Decay is pretty cool, actually, dude.
What about Sunset Overdrive? That's technically post-apocalypse, isn't it?
No, it is. It absolutely is, dude. I just got done with stuff with Sunset.
Post-energy drink apocalypse.
Post-energy drink apocalypse. Dude, that game is so fucking ridiculous. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, dude. It is very aware that it's a video game, though. Like, it gets a little irritating after a while. I just got done playing it. And the guy's constantly like looking at the screen and going, you know, hey, I'm on a mission. Where's the narrator? You know, and I'm like, oh god, dude, like the humor is very 90s, and it becomes really, really grating after all. He reminds me, that player, like your player, he's just called player. He reminds me of like a modern day Bubsy, and I mean that in the worst possible way.
Modern day Bubsy.
I mean that in the worst fucking way. He is so goddamn annoying, dude. It's awful. It's fucking terrible. I don't know. What else has happened in the fucking news this week, guys? I feel like it's been kind of a slow week.
Yeah, so we'll just talk about games. We had Amplitude come out this week.
Oh shit, dude! I almost forgot about fucking Amplitude. You got it. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, so I did not back Amplitude, so I just bought it on Tuesday like everybody else, like a normal plebeian. And I put in about 10 hours so far. I unlocked all the songs that you can, which took me. I've seen people complain about that they have the progression set up, the way you unlock songs. It only took me 5 hours of playing the game to get all the songs unlocked. So it's not, not a big pain in the ass. So the campaign, you started off, there's like a 15-track concept album campaign, which, it's kind of crazy. It doesn't do anything really different than what normally just playing the songs in Quick Play is like, but there is some kind of like a campaign there. And then you have 15 extra songs that you can do in Quick Play to unlock. But it's it's classic Amplitude. It plays really well. The mechanics are tight. Solid 60 frames.
It doesn't say. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the content even for $20. Do you feel like it's too light?
It's not for $20. No, I don't feel like it's light. I feel like it's what I would expect out of a $20 game. I mean, it would have been nice if maybe like the Kickstarter was more successful and they could have made this a $50, $60 game. That would have been great, but it didn't work out that way, and I'm not disappointed with what we got, I guess. I mean, it plays really well. I mean, it's Amplitude. It's the same. It's frequency. It's Amplitude. It's a classic. It plays well.
So, for someone who would have never played Amplitude, say they didn't own a PS2 or weren't alive during a PS2 era or whatever, how would you describe it to them?
So it's the precursor to Guitar Hero. But instead of 5 lanes, it's 3 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
The default control setup is L1, R1, and R2. So think left index on L1, right index on R1, and then middle finger on R2. And it's 3. So it's hard to think about because it doesn't translate quite the same way to a controller the way it does to like a guitar. So it's kind of awkward, and it's always awkward. That's the steepest thing about the learning curve is just trying to grasp your brain around the control scheme. And there's like some different ones, but just the way that the DualShock 4 is set up, there's just no way to get like 3 even buttons in a way that feels comfortable to press. And that's mostly where the depth comes from. It's just like it just feels weird to play almost all the time in a way that's hard to describe. But like once you start playing it, it just feels weird for there only to be 3 buttons to press as opposed to like 5 in Guitar Hero. But then it also does a thing where you have to tilt the analog stick to move back, and so it splits up all the instruments into different note highways essentially. And I don't know if you ever played Rock Band Unplugged or Rock Band Blitz.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those were essentially spiritual sequels to Amplitude.
Yeah. I'm not asking you to describe it for me, just for the benefit of everyone.
And so you switch between the different tracks. So it lets you play like maybe like a little 10 to 12 note like section before forcing you to jump to a different track, like vocals, bass, guitar, keyboard.
Do you feel like something like this, or something like rock, or let's just expand it, something like Amplitude or Rock Band or Guitar Hero? Do you feel like this would benefit from being on like a VR platform? What do you think about that, dude? Because you're kind of the authority on these games, as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, I think Amplitude and VR would be cool. So the thing about Amplitude is it's so in Guitar Hero it was like a first-person thing, but in Amplitude you actually have like a little spaceship at the bottom of the screen that is shooting out lasers to where like the note symbols would be to like blow them up. So like picture like Guitar Hero, except there's like a little spaceship at the bottom shooting the note highway.
Did you ever play Audio Surf?
Yeah, Audio Surf was great.
Okay, that's the game in that style that resounded the best with me was Audio Surf, because it actually like had, I don't know, like not confined to lanes kind of a gameplay. You know, just free, kind of,
Yeah,
I mean, it did have lanes, but it's like the controller had a little bit of give to what lane you were in. And
yeah, like that's the coolest thing about Amplitude. It's like, you'll see like 4 different note highways coming up, and you're like, oh, that one looks really difficult. Oh, that one looks really difficult. Oh, that one looks more of my style, and then you do that one. So it lets you choose your difficulty before you start the song, like Guitar Hero, you choose the different difficulty levels. But then in the middle of the song, you're still on the fly switching up your difficulty based on the note highways that you can see coming at you. It's
I was going to say, that's where VR would be cool if it had head tracking, because what I find hard, especially when you're focusing on one highway, is you're trying to peek to the right to see what the next note on the one you're switching to is.
Yeah, that's
if you
definitely
do head tracking and kind of just turn your head and peek over, I think that might be kind of neat.
Exactly. Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that inducing some fucking vomiting, though. For some people,
I didn't even mention. So the 15th level of the campaign, they do this crazy like LSD acid where like the screen is melting effect, and it lasts for the entire song. And it's the first thing in a video game to ever make me nauseous, ever.
All right, I am literally going to buy this and play it while drunk.
Yeah. You will throw up. It made me nauseous. I had to stop playing it. I couldn't even look at my computer screen for like half an hour, and I've never gotten that from anything. I thought I was immune to like video games making me nauseous. Nope, Amplitude did it.
So we've got a question from chat. We got a question from the chat. I want to know if all of you are actually excited for VR, and that's actually a good question. We've talked about, are we going to pick it up? Are we excited for it?
Yes, I'm very excited for it, for the potential of it, the future applications. Like I think of VR as like a long-term thing. I don't think it's a gimmick or a fad. I think like we're just in the beginning stages of something that's really going to blossom.
We're all going to live in VR worlds eventually.
Yeah. Second life, third life.
Third life.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. I want to like it. I hope it doesn't, make me nauseous or something like that. I'm really hoping that I can like it in that regard. But as far as games, I would have to be convinced, I think, with like something that is like, wow, now that is cool. And it's hard to do that still, again, without experiencing it yourself. So yeah, I'm excited to try it. I'm excited to play around with it. I think a game like Dying Light with VR would just be so awesome.
Yeah.
Be on top of a skyscraper and just like look around and then jump down and just cut
I
the
want to
legs
run
off of
across the
5
zombie.
zombies.
I want to run across the bridge on the top of the zombies' heads in VR. Once you upgrade that.
Yeah. Well, and so I am very excited about what VR could potentially offer us as far as the horror genre goes, because anybody who knows me knows one of my favorite genres is horror. I love horror games. And I can only imagine. And I thought, I thought Alien Isolation, it had its flaws, but it did something very cool that I think VR could take even a step further. And said, if you had a microphone on for Alien Isolation, and you turn the option on in the game, the alien could hear you breathe.
Yeah, boy, does that ever just make a hard game already harder.
Yeah, but the thing is like the applications for something like that are mind-boggling to me. And I'm talking not just ambiance, but immersion in a game.
Yeah, stuff
as well.
Until Dawn tried its hardest with what it could do with the controller. Think
But-
about taking that to the next level in VR.
and putting you in that person's. Oh, dude, that would be fucking
With like
amazing.
a body, yeah, with like a full bodysuit that could detect motion. Like I don't know.
Or something like Silent Hill that just totally made me almost shit my pants. The applications. The other thing I would be excited about for VR is what it could do for games like Fallout 4 or Skyrim. Or Dying Light was a good example. These big open world Fallout style go anywhere, do anything games.
Those are a long time away. Those are so far away.
No, and I agree, but honestly, I'm not sure I agree with the thing selling 1.9 million its first year, but I do think that in 5 years Sony is going to be very happy that they invested in VR. I do think that.
I agree.
Because
I think it's the future. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not just talking from a game perspective here. I mean, I think obviously there are other.
Yeah, no, I think games is such a small part of VR as a whole.
Oh yeah, well, which is why I think because I maybe somebody in chat or when you guys could wasn't NASA using PSVR to train astronauts? I read something about some government agency training their guys using PSVR.
Why would they do that instead of Oculus?
I don't know. Now I want to look it up. But PSVR was used to train something. Kingsfield, Alcoholic Cost in chat says Kingsfield. That's another really good one. But yeah, I think that. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I am excited for it. I don't know if it'll be a day one purchase for me. Again, that's all going to come down to price. Yeah, I think it sounds really cool.
Someone brings up Summer Lesson in chat. I know that's what the game that Brandon's most excited for.
Yeah, that and DOA X3.
What is Summer Lesson? I have no idea what
it's a waifu game.
yeah, I'm not good.
It's a Japanese idol girl, like she's your waifu girlfriend. you're alone together on like a summer resort island.
You know what might be really cool, dude? Check this shit out. What about a Musu game?
For VR?
Like Dynasty Warriors or something, man. That would be kind of cool, right?
Well, here's the thing.
How would that work though? Like
a commander mode. I'm thinking like a commander mode where like you can oversee the battlefield from like
you're just looking down on a table or something.
Yeah, you're looking down on like a tabletop game.
Tabletop simulator would be.
But then you
awesome.
can
four friends and you can all sit around and play like Risk or something, real time.
But with like crazy cool graphics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody in chat asks how would a Mutsu game work? I think Brandon just described it perfectly.
And then you could like zoom down to the battlefield and see it at like a first-person perspective.
Yeah, or take command of one of your soldiers down to the battlefield, dude. That would be. I mean, yeah. Now that I think about it, dude, like the applications for fucking VR, especially in pornography, are just mind-boggling.
It's pretty crazy.
It is pretty. I mean, what if you could put yourself in Evan Stone's shoes? That would be pretty amazing, dude. I
think he could keep that dildo to himself.
But it has both ends, man.
Yeah, he can keep both of them.
Once you learn about Summer Lesson, John, that joke will be too real.
It really. No,
is that game actually erotic, or is it just like PG-13?
What, Summertime?
Summer Lesson.
Summer Lesson? Summertime.
Is it like an actual?
Summertime.
Is it like an adults-only experience? I don't know.
If it's Japanese, it probably is.
I don't know if it's just like an M-rated thing or like an AO-rated thing.
What about a fighting game? Have you guys thought about that? Like a fucking
It sounds terrible. I can't think of...
Like Mortal Kombat in VR, dude? Imagine that, dude.
No, that sounds awful.
Whenever I think of like a VR...
of first-person fighting games like BioFreaks.
Whenever I think of VR fighting, I think of like the Wii U boxing or something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of, you're holding the two
Punch out.
move controllers, and you're just boom, boom, lean, boom, boom.
Guys, let's also face the facts. We all know that just like the Wii, dude, it's going to have one thing in common with the Wii. You know, there's going to be a shitload of shovelware.
Yeah,
thing,
licensed shovelware.
Dude, PSVR is going to have so much shovelware, boom blocks, bullshit.
It's gonna be like they're gonna be like 15 to 30-minute like mini experiences that cost full price. Yeah.
$4. It's going to be kind of like those little minis you can buy on the Vita or the PSP. That's exactly what it's going to be. Okay, so somebody in chat just raised an interesting point. He wants to know that the third-person games he loves are going to die.
Uncharted 4 is coming out in a couple months.
Well, I think he's talking about VR and what this might mean for third-person cover shooters.
I've heard that third-person gameplay still kind of works in VR. It just kind of looks like you're looking down on like a diorama of something. I don't know. That's just from what I've heard.
I don't know.
Everything doesn't have to be first-person in VR.
I don't know. Well, but I mean, isn't the whole? I think he makes a good point. Like, isn't that the whole point of VR? Is to put you in the shoes of the avatar on screen? And if that's the case, if that's the direction,
you don't. There's no. I mean, you know, you can make up your own rules.
Or maybe jobs. Christopher Ray is in chat, says Job Simulator. You guys.
What, Job Simulator?
Job Simulator, dude, from PSX, man. Fucking Job Simulator, dude. Shaking the coffee around and acting like a fool in your office.
Oh, yeah, wow. Was that a thing? I forgot.
No, Gabe and I were watching PSX, and that's actually a thing. Job Simulator is actually a thing.
Surgeon Simulator is definitely going to get updated for VR.
But but here's the thing. Like, I don't think. I thought that was a great point about third-person cover shooters. I don't think you're going to see. Obviously, you're not going to see every game on PSVR. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I don't think third-person cover shooters are going to go anywhere. They're too popular, dude. Nobody wants to play. I don't think anybody wants to play Uncharted first person. I don't, because the whole point of playing Uncharted first person is that you're playing as Nathan Drake. You're not you. You know what I mean? You're playing a story that's being told to you. I can see more application in VR for games like Fallout or Skyrim, where there's very little, or Dying Light, where it's out of your eyes, and there's a story.
RPG.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't.
I feel like making a VR RPG would be really hard.
It would be really hard, and I don't think I think the dev time for these games is going to be astronomical.
Yeah, so do I. Like, to make anything that resembles like a real game, that's not just like a mini experience.
It's going to be it's going to be difficult. It really is.
Oh, there's going to be so many growing pains, so many bad generic ass games while people are trying to learn.
Generic ass games?
Generic
ass games? I'm all about some generic ass games, dude.
You're just gonna be sniffing farts and
sniffing asses all day.
It's like those Japanese game shows.
So we'll move on from VR yet again, because we keep getting pulled back to VR.
Everything devolves into that.
I know. Everything goes back to VR now. So somebody had posted this on my Twitter timeline, and I thought it was an interesting read. We all know that 2015, I mean, let's face it, it was a weak year for Sony exclusives. It absolutely was.
Yeah, it was. What was the best? Until Dawn was the best exclusive.
Until Dawn was the best Sony exclusive last year.
And that was a great game, but
it was.
It carried the year. It wasn't an Uncharted 4 or the last.
It was not. However, having said that, it was like one of the most pleasant surprises I've had in gaming in years.
Yeah, sure.
I'm actually gonna.
Cool,
as soon as I'm done platinuming Uncharted 3, I'm going to go back and get my platinum in Until Dawn. So Sony has released a list of exclusive games they have coming this year, or at least games they say they're coming this year. And guys, it's a strong fucking list. Like if half of the games come out that they say are coming out, this is going to be the exact opposite of what happened last year. And in terms of exclusivity, it's nuts. How many games are coming out this year for PS4 that are exclusive?
If nothing gets
if they come out.
The Witness is the first one. Comes out in a couple weeks.
So The Witness comes out, and by the way, a lot of people will say, fucking indies don't count. They absolutely count. Don't bring that
walking simulator puzzle game.
Don't bring that shit into this podcast. Indies are don't be hating on indies.
You're forgetting about the first game release though of this year. We talked about Amplitude.
Amplitude. So Amplitude.
Is that a PS4 exclusive?
There was a Katamari cookie clicker game.
Oh,
came out on mobile.
Oh God, I heard
All
about
right.
that.
So we've got a question in chat. We got a question from chat from Ahsan Rashid. What's up, Ahsan? He says, "How do you guys define exclusive? If a game comes out on PC as well, do you consider it exclusive?" And it's Thuway. What's up, Thuway? What's going on, man?
The way.
It's the way or Thuway. Well, I don't know how to fucking pronounce
It's
words.
just the way. It's
I'm a Marine. I'm a Marine, dude. I can't. I don't pronounce shit.
Yeah, break it down for you, Barney style.
But yeah, I know. Yeah, I love that Marine Corps terminology, dude. Fucking, I'm tracking now. Okay, solid copy. But that's a really good question. So how do we define exclusive? If a game comes out on PC, do we consider it exclusive to PS4? Yes, I
think
do.
Sony has the terminology down. If it's out on PC, it's console exclusive. Like, to me, exclusive means you can only play it on that platform, nothing else.
Yeah,
And
so Microsoft has this weird thing where they consider the PC part of the Xbox family too. So like, 'cause
Yeah.
I saw a quote from Aaron Greenberg where he was talking about Cuphead, which is coming to Xbox One and PC,
I can't
where
fucking wait for Cuphead.
he called it an Xbox exclusive,
But it's not.
but well,
Well, no. I guess it is.
but it's not. Like, it's just arbitrary marketing terms.
Okay, so it's a console exclusive though, because I mean, a PC is not a console. A PC is a device, a personal device that you can use to do many.
But for some
So-
reason, Microsoft considers like Windows 10 like the Xbox family, I guess.
It's not. That's bullshit.
It's a weird thing. But yeah, I don't know.
So yes, yeah. So yeah.
Definition for it.
I
To
think
answer
that's
the
just
way-
part of the problem though with Microsoft is they need to figure their stuff out as far as branding and what they're going to release on what. If they're going to, I think there just needs to be a time where they just come together and say, okay, we're going to make an Xbox. It's basically like a computer, but with a set spec. But then if you want to get all the Xbox games, you can still do that on a PC.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because I mean, like, I still remember the days back in the '90s when Microsoft was still into heavy PC gaming. They were putting out stuff like Monster Truck Madness and Outwar and Flight Simulator, stuff like that. I feel like they should just go back to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Out of the console
it's
market.
frustrating from my point of view.
That's a
Just
controversial thing to say.
Okay,
What?
so I've got this list here, and I want to see what you guys think. I've got this list here of the games that Sony says are coming exclusively to PS4 in 2016, and I'm going to go ahead and define exclusive as console exclusive on PS4. So these are the first-party games: Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, The Last Guardian, Gran Turismo Sport, Gravity Rush 2, which I'm very fucking excited about, Ratchet and Clank, which I'm also excited about, The Tomorrow Children, Drawn to Death, and Dreams, and then console or timed exclusives. Street Fighter V, Firewatch, What Remains of Edith Finch, Shadow of the Beast, Boundless, Nier Automata, Alienation, fuck yeah, Hellblade.
Is Nier Automata this year?
Yep, it's this year.
I guarantee you.
Oh yeah,
Nier,
I need a good platinum game this year.
Yeah.
No Scalebound, so Nier.
I'm with Jeff. I think that gets delayed definitely.
Yeah, that one and the Ninja Theory game, is that Hellbound or Hellblade?
Hellblade.
Have they?
That's getting delayed for sure
Yeah.
too.
Well, we've also got Paragon, The Witness, and No Man's Sky. So people have been even if half of those games come out, that's a strong fucking list for Sony this year.
Better than
I mean,
just
Nier
Bloodborne
could
and
be
Until
game of the
Dawn.
year material.
And people in chat are talking. And Persona 5, that's another good point.
Yeah,
Persona 5.
Yeah,
Thank you, Drunk Cat. That's another one coming out this year.
I'm excited for Persona 5, and I didn't even like any of the other Persona games.
And apparently, the games that Sony are sure about, they've doubled down on The Last Guardian and Horizon Zero Dawn. They're saying those games are absolutely coming out this year. I mean, they're saying all these games are coming out this year.
I need to see more of Horizon. Like, I don't know what the hell that game really is going to be. It could be game of the year. It could be game of the year. It could be like nothing. I don't know. It could be another Shadowfall.
I mean, I don't know, man. It looks fucking awesome, but apparently
It does look fucking awesome, but what's like the overarching game? They've only
Oh, shit,
shown,
Rhyme. There's another one,
bits
Rhyme.
and pieces.
Thank you. Yeah, Christopher Ray is in chat. Rhyme. That's another one coming out.
What about that Yarny game? That's not exclusive, is it?
I don't think it's exclusive.
Yeah, okay. That's
Actually,
easy.
so somebody in chat, two people in chat, Alcoholocaust and somebody else say that they actually, Ninja Theory just confirmed 2016 release for Hellblade, so that is coming out this year.
I don't even know what that game looks like.
Do look it up. It looks pretty cool.
Does it?
Yeah. I'll say that much. It looks.
It just feels
cool.
like they haven't been talking about it. If it's a game that's coming out this year, I feel like I should know more about it.
So off of this list, guys, what are we really excited for? I'm really excited for Horizon, Gravity Rush 2, and Ratchet and Clank and Firewatch. And The
Nier and
Witness.
Horizon for me.
Oh,
I
Nier
have
looks
been
cool too.
hyped for Firewatch since the inception of that game. They have
Yep.
Ollie Moss art directing, and then it's all the Idle Thumb guys, or not all of them, but Chris Remo and uh, I forget what. Somebody help. I don't know. But anyways,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
they
know.
can do no wrong in my eyes, and I was worried about the gameplay aspect because the art style is just amazing.
The other guy that was involved in The Walking Dead.
I think so.
It might have been, yeah.
I can't remember their names.
But no, I agree. I agree, dude. Firewatch looks fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, and so I was concerned about the gameplay though, and the footage from PlayStation Experience totally, made me feel so much better about that, and I am hyped.
I'm also really hyped, and people in chat, let me know if you're hyped for Alienation as well, because I'm a huge Housemarque fan. I love Housemarque games.
Housemarque's great.
Housemarque is fun.
Well, here's the Idle Thumb guys. There was Chris Remo, Nick Brecken, James Rodkin, Sean Vanneman, Daniel Rindau, and James Spafford. Which one of those are you talking about?
I think it's Sean, maybe?
So Chris Remo is with Camposanto, Nick Brecken's with Telltale.
Camposanto is the developer of Firewatch.
Yeah, Jake Rodkin, Sean Vanneman, and Chris Remo are all with Camposanto.
Okay, so it's all three of them. Those are like the three mainline guys.
Okay,
From
so the way in chat, Asan points out a few more games that I missed. Ni no Kuni 2, Star Ocean, and Dragon Quest all coming out. Ni no Kuni looks really good.
Play the first one.
So I just looked up Hellblade, and all I see is concept art.
There's gameplay videos, but I think they were kind of
gameplay.
prototypes, like a vertical slice. I don't know if it's representative of the final.
Yeah, so that game's supposed to come out this year? All right.
No, that's why I'm saying that's 2017. I don't care what they say.
Oh, here, okay, I found a Hellblade gameplay trailer from E3. All right, I think I saw
But
this, but I just
they
forgot
said
about it.
since that they scrapped everything they had there and started over.
What?
That
That
was
was
just
6 months ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, this game's coming out this year? Bullshit.
They basically said they just built that to kind of show what their idea for the game is, but it's not actually, none of that is left.
I just
So-
remembered that was the game that reminded me of that character from Heavenly Sword, Kai. The main character, Hellblade, looks like an older Kai from Heavenly Sword.
Oh man, dude, Heavenly Sword, I'd love a fucking follow-up to that.
Nah,
That could,
I'm good, man.
I
I'm good.
loved it.
It was okay. It was okay.
I'll take Heavenly Sword over God of War any day of the week. Any day of the week. I don't care what anybody says. That game was
All that
fucking
action
sick.
with that hair flowing everywhere.
That was pretty cool, dude. That was pretty cool.
On the topic of exclusives, as weak as Sony's year was last year, I just appreciate the fact that they actually spread them out over the course of the year. Because I have an Xbox One and I didn't touch it because I was busy with all the third-party shit in the holiday.
So, okay, so you know what? That's a good point. Let's talk about that for a minute, and let's talk about what Xbox One is doing with their exclusives this year, and we'll end on that. So we all know that Scalebound got delayed till into next year. It's not coming out in 2016 at all anymore. And to be honest with you, I don't see why anybody is surprised about that. I mean, we hadn't seen much.
No,
of
that
this
looked
game.
rough.
Yeah, and what we did see, it didn't look good.
I expect better out of Kamiya.
Yep, and I think you will get better. I think
Like straight up,
Scalebound.
Devil May Cry and Bayonetta are two of my favorite games of all time.
Well, I think
expect
Scalebound's
a lot
going
out of him.
I think Scalebound's going to be good. I think it getting delayed so early in the year means that it missed some kind of milestone. So yeah, I think the game was probably nowhere near prime time. Recore, which is a game that looks interesting, we don't know much about it. That's been delayed in the second half of 2016. And Alcoholic Cost in chat just made a good point. He says Microsoft best years for exclusive games get delayed. So we've got now two Microsoft games, exclusive games that have been delayed either into next year or the last part of the year. People are calling Recore a masterpiece, and we don't know anything about the game. I mean, the concept.
Who's people?
A lot of people on Twitter are calling it a masterpiece already, just like they're calling Scalebound a masterpiece. Don't ask. I don't want to name any names. I'm not giving these people any press.
Masterpiece based on a trailer. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
trailer.
and so Alcoholic Cost again made a really good point in chat, and I brought it up before. So the big exclusive for this year for Microsoft, at least until Gears 4 comes out, is Quantum Leap. I almost say Quantum Leap.
Yeah, that's fine.
I almost say Quantum Leap. Quantum Break, and he says it has a ton of stress on its shoulders, and it does.
Yeah, it does.
It looks absolutely amazing.
They haven't made a game in 6 years. It's fucking good.
And I'm going to reiterate the point that I made on our last podcast, which is that the game looks cool, but I am very...
Gabe, man.
Gabe, you're killing me with it. Look, it's okay, man. I'm giving you a hard time.
Sorry.
I am very concerned about Quantum Break in the sense that we have seen only barely snippets of gameplay of this thing. And I am very, very concerned that Remedy is going to pull an Order 1886 and give us a 5-hour game full of button prompts and chapters made up of nothing but dialogue. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but I think it's reasonable to...
It's a reasonable concern based on the television presentation, sure.
I'm cool with the short game because I don't like filler games anymore. If it was like an 8-hour experience that was like awesome all the way through, and I could be done with it, and that was it. I loved it and move on. I'd love that.
Now, I thought the Max Payne and Alan Wake, all three of them, had a really good balance between story and gameplay. So I mean, if it would be out of character for them to make a game that didn't have good balance.
True.
Yeah.
And I'll say this much: Remedy is a far, far more accomplished dev team than Ready at Dawn.
Absolutely. Max
Yeah.
Payne is still one of the best third-person shooters.
Yeah, and Alan Wake is probably one of my top 3 Xbox 360 games. Period.
Yeah.
That was the only game I finished on my 360.
I mean,
I loved
Max Payne from 2001 is better than The Order.
Yes, it is. It really, really is. So, but again, I think this is a valid concern. And it really, really got driven home for me when at the Game Awards they said they made a big deal. If anybody remembers, they made a big deal about saying, "Hey, we're going to showcase Quantum Break." I keep wanting to say fucking Quantum Leap. We're going to showcase Quantum Break. And now all I'm thinking about is fucking Scott Bakula. God damn it, we're going to showcase Quantum Break at the Game Awards, and it's going to be great. And we were all watching it, and it was like 15 seconds long.
That was a nothing trailer. Yeah.
It was a nothing trailer, and that's when I really started thinking, how much substance does this game really have? You know, because I mean, I still couldn't tell you.
I understand the concern.
People complained about Alan Wake's gameplay too, though, didn't they? They said it was too simple, rinse and repeat.
I don't know. I didn't hear any complaints. I thought it was great. You talk about the whole flashlight mechanic. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was generally well received, the combat in Alan Wake.
But I find it's an interesting kind of role reversal in the fact that in 2015 Microsoft undoubtedly had a stronger year for exclusivity. I mean, nobody can deny that. But 2016, if everything, we've already had 2 delays from Microsoft. And as long as half of these games come out that Sony says will, their exclusive stable for this year is looking awfully fucking strong.
I mean, Uncharted 4 is coming out, and like that's game of the generation potential material. So.
Yeah, I mean, and which is another reason why I fear for Rise of the Tomb Raider sales when that comes out in the fall, because, like you said, Brandon, very, very smartly, that's going to come out in a post-Uncharted 4 world.
Yeah, I'm going to get the PC version of Rise of the Tomb Raider because I'm literally afraid of playing Tomb Raider after Uncharted, just because I feel like it would be disappointing.
My wife played Rise of the Tomb Raider before I did, and because we have an Xbox One, and she was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, and she loved it. I thought it was great, but I'm ready for Uncharted. I'm ready for Nathan Drake.
Well, I heard that. I mean, Uncharted will be more of a shooter. I heard that Rise of the Tomb Raider kind of played up the exploration aspects and a little bit down.
It really did, and I'll say, dude, the map on that game is fucking huge. It's massive. It was almost too big, to be honest with you. But the story was really good too. It was a really good story.
Good, because the first one was awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Especially the villain. The villain in 1 was terrible.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was some old guy with a staff who was trying to.
Yeah. There was like some mysticism bullshit going on there.
But you know what's interesting about Tomb Raider and Uncharted is that the Uncharted games were so obviously influenced by Tomb Raider, and now Tomb Raider is so obviously influenced by Uncharted.
Dude Raider, man. Dude Raider.
Seriously, I mean, when I played Tomb Raider, the reboot, it was a great game. Don't get me wrong, but the whole time thinking it, I was like, I feel like I'm playing Uncharted with a female, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But kind of the role reversal in which games influenced what was really, I don't know, the dichotomy that was really interesting to me. So yeah, I mean it is what it is. But I mean bottom line, I think 2016 is shaping up to be very, very strong for Sony, provided most of these games come out when they say they will, and it seems like they will.
I think what we're seeing is cycles, and I think it was inevitable. The problem Sony ran into is they had such late support for the PS3. When you think like Gran Turismo 6 and Beyond Two Souls and The Last of Us all came out in its in the year the PS4 launched, whereas like what was released at the end of the 360 life, I can't even remember other than Gears Judgment.
Yeah, that was it.
Gran Turismo 6 was such a missed opportunity to be on the PS4 and launch the PS4 with a Gran Turismo game.
Should have been on PS3, but they were, and I think they've been playing catch up ever since, and now we're finally starting to see the fruits of some of the stuff that they just started around that time.
You know, I think, you know, and not to drag it too far back to VR, but we were talking about a killer app for PSVR. I think Gran Turismo Sport could be it.
Okay.
I could absolutely see that as being, you know, the big, you know,
the ultimate driving.
Yeah, like you've got to have this. Like, you know, every game.
Like just
not every game, but
I mean, just a racing game though. Even like, I mean.
Yeah, but Gran Turismo, dude, that
love
game.
their Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that, but like, what does VR add to that?
I mean, Gran Turismo Sport, we don't even know.
Yeah, what? See, here's the thing though. I mean, what does VR add to that, dude? You're sitting in the driver's seat. You know, it's you. You know, and you get that rumble, that feedback from the steering wheel.
Yeah, I'd rather play Grand Theft Auto in VR if I'm gonna drive around and joyride. I don't know.
Well, no. I get that, but what I'm saying is that Gran Turismo, that name, that brand carries a lot of weight with a lot of.
Does it still? How well did the last one sell? I felt like that didn't that like not even make the NPDs the month it came out? I don't remember.
It's been a long time.
It sold the least of all the mainline.
Well, I mean,
it's on a massive downward trend.
Well, I mean, there is. I mean,
but it was still around 2 million, I think.
But
right?
But here's the thing: there's still a market for racing games. I mean, look at Drive Club with all its problems.
There definitely still is. Sure.
With all its problems, it sold over 2 million copies. So yeah, I think I could totally see Gran Turismo and No Man's Sky is another one. I think it'd be a killer app for PSVR. I think No Man's Sky was fucking made for VR.
You know what? A Need for Speed sequel with the VR first-person FMV. That's where it's at. I want to be fist bumping and see my fist actually like come out and bump the bottom of his fist. When he hands me a monster can, I want to reach
That would be fucking awesome, dude.
It should come with a monster can peripheral that you can actually open.
A monster can controller, dude.
It's a QT. You actually have to like pop the monster can open.
Alcoholic says that first-person fist bump, dude. That'd be great. Like when you reach out to hit the fist, dude, like the little move controller vibrates, so you get that sense of hitting the guy's fist.
Yes.
That'd be fucking awesome, dude. I'd love that actually. That'd be kind of cool. And yeah, so Christopher Ray is in chat. He makes a good point. Europe will love Gran Turismo Sport. That's where those games sell. And I completely agree. There's a huge market for that. So yeah, I think that could absolutely be a killer fucking app for PSVR.
My question is, I still don't understand what Gran Turismo Sport is. Have they clarified if it's a main entry?
No.
They really haven't.
It's going to be a full price thing though, right? But it's just not Gran Turismo 7 or whatever.
Sure.
You know, it's one of those things.
The Sport is just placeholder for VR.
Yeah,
you're probably right. You're exactly right.
Sport is one of those meaningless titles, like Far Cry Primal.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
like, is this Far Cry 5? You're selling it for $60, and it comes after 4.
If you're trying to tell me that Gran Turismo is in fact a sport, then yes, I agree. It's racing as a sport, so it's a meaningless fucking title.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wonder, I really do, because Sony says we're going to have, and here we are back in VR, Sony says this is another story, they're going to have over 100 titles in development right now for PSVR. I question as to when we'll actually see the majority of them, and how many of them are just, like somebody mentioned earlier, I don't know who it was, these little meaningless $5 bullshit, virtual tennis games.
Yeah, that you could barely even call them a game. They're more like a
there's
going to be a lot of tech demos that like you play it for half an hour and you're like, yep, that was it.
I fully expect the shovelware on PSVR to be worse than the Wii, and that was pretty bad.
Well, you're probably right.
Can we back up to console exclusives real quick?
Yeah.
Have we seen anything? I mean, this is important because it's going to be released this month. But have we seen anything about The Witness? Because for as big of a guy developing that, the guy who made Braid, right? We haven't heard hardly anything.
I think they just put out a trailer like a couple weeks ago. But they want it to be a mystery, a surprise, as much as possible. I mean,
Yeah, Jonathan Blow just kind of does what he wants, and I just don't think he wants to show it.
I mean, it's a puzzle game, so like, how much can they show without?
Well,
giving
I mean, I'm not
away?
saying like I want like Super Bowl trailers of it, but it's just like I feel like it's we haven't heard a whole lot about it.
How much is that? How much is The Witness going to cost? I honestly have no idea.
I don't know. That's a good question, actually.
I'm gonna Google The Witness price and hope something comes up.
To me,
Scoops here, folks.
The Witness literally looks like a hand-painted Myst, an updated version of Myst to me, and I'm cool with that, dude.
It's a $60 game.
It better have a lot. I mean, didn't he say there was like 80 hours of content potentially?
There's
in The Witness,
600 puzzles, I think.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
I can believe it, dude.
So
And
See, that's what I was talking about. I didn't even know what type of game it was.
It's Myst. Yeah,
It's Myst. No, it's Myst.
Good.
It is absolutely. It's like a it's like a movable first-person
Yeah,
Myst.
you walk
That's what
around
it
an
is.
island and solve puzzles and open up new areas on the island, which is
In
fine.
fact,
It's cool. It's been 20 years since Myst. Like that's okay.
oh, so we got somebody in chat. Evil Monkey Man 289. What's up, dude? I love that name. Ace Combat 7 is going to be exciting in VR.
yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Oh man, for
Oh.
VR
I am
dog
so excited for
I
all
can't
that.
believe I didn't think about that. Yeah, can you imagine like something like getting in a TIE fighter in Battlefront in VR?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Exactly.
But imagine that in a game that's actually good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back the fuck off my Battlefront, son. Don't start fronting on my Battlefront. I love that shit.
It's fine.
But no, I agree. I think like a flight simulator type game where you're firing at somebody would be absolutely fucking killer. In PSVR, dude, that would be fucking. I can't believe I didn't think about that. Or something like, or like somebody mentioned Chivalry earlier, where like it's like a third person sword fighting game. That would be pretty fucking cool too.
Yeah. Maybe you get Ubisoft to shoehorn VR into For Honor or whatever it is.
Do we know anything else about For Honor other than the fact
Other
that
than it looks like a really awesome AAA version of Chivalry, not really.
It really does, dude. Like, and I've been kind of burned out on Ubisoft games over the past few years, but For Honor does look pretty fucking cool. That's another thing.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Dude, this is going to be a great year for games, period. Not only do we have all those Sony exclusives I just talked about, but there's fucking... Apparently, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Doom, the release date for Doom got leaked.
Oh, I'm
And
so excited.
it's coming out in June. Fucking, you got... what else is coming out this year, guys, that's not exclusive? You got Homefront. Homefront is coming out, and
The
apparently...
Revolution.
Yeah, which looks really fucking cool. That looks good.
It looks it's probably going to be the best Far Cry game that comes out this year.
Yeah, exactly. Final Fantasy 15 is fucking finally fucking coming. It is finally. I finally feel like this game is real. Watchdog. Get out of here with Watch Dogs 2.
Why is no one mentioning The Division? I know everyone's
Oh
excited
shit,
for
dude!
that.
I forgot about the mission, man. I think that game's in fucking trouble.
What do you do in that game? I don't.
It's a third-person MMO set in
Person cover shooter MMO loot 'em up. Yeah, I guess.
It's
What do you?
that's what it is, dude. Nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows what you do in that game except the people who played the beta who can't talk about it legally because Ubisoft.
They all said it was cool. I see people who played the beta say they really enjoyed it. So
I wonder if there's towers to climb. That's the important question.
I don't think that there are.
What the hell? I'm not buying it then.
Whoever said it had it
You
right.
can get Far Cry Primal for your climbing tower experience.
The Division is basically just a third-person cover MMO. It's
Yeah.
Destiny. It's Destiny. Third-person Destiny. That's what it is.
Okay, that answers that.
It's got to be different than just. It can't just be third-person Destiny.
Apparently, from what people have said who have played it, it's pretty close to that.
Why does that game exist?
Do you think it's always been like that? Do you think the release of Destiny kind of shifted?
Absolutely.
I think it probably did too. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think Destiny has caused a shift in multiple games. We've talked about this before. Look at Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
That's what I was just going
multiplayer
to
in
say.
that game.
I blame Destiny for Black Ops 3 going all co-op.
Black Ops 3 not only went full co-op, but if you look at the multiplayer, there's a guy with a fucking jumping ground pound.
Oh,
There's
exactly.
there's a fucking archer with a shadow arrow. I mean, don't tell me that Destiny didn't have a huge effect on Call of Duty.
Wasn't there a rumor that it also played a role in that Santa Monica game's cancellation? They were worried it was quite similar
Yeah, I
to
remember that.
Destiny.
I don't remember too much about it, but I do remember that.
Ubisoft is like, fuck it, full steam ahead.
Well, and here's the thing, dude. Like, I think at that point, dude, like maybe there'll be enough Destiny burnout to where people will say, yeah, we'll give the Division a shot.
I'm more interested in a third-person cover shooter.
I figured you would be.
Than Destiny.
I figured
also,
you
like
would
the
be.
enemies in the Division my main problem with Destiny is the bullet sponges, and it looks like the Division, the enemies are a little bit more fragile.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I played Destiny for a while, and it is what it is. I think if the Division wants to survive, it's got to launch with more content than Destiny did. I mean, because I don't think people are going to fall for that again. And so somebody in chat asked a really good question. Evil Monkey Man, what's up, man? That name, I can't get over that name. Why the fuck is Destiny so influential? Because it sold a bajillion million copies, and it's got like 5 million people who play it every day.
It was hype. Destiny got to where it is on hype, marketing, name recognition.
Destiny, yep, I agree. Destiny is the absolute definition of overhyping and underdelivering.
Yeah. Not to drag out a conversation from 2000.
Yeah, and we won't. But yeah, that's why Destiny is so influential, because everybody's fucking playing it. And everybody wants to be Destiny. So we'll see if the Division can be some kind of Destiny killer. I have my doubts, especially since Destiny 2 is apparently the big rumor going to launch next September.
There's going to be some kind of Destiny something.
There's going to be some. There's going to be some. Yeah. And
there's going to be another Call of Duty game.
And yes, we'll end on this. Alcoholicost says Dark Souls 3. Any of you hyped?
Oh yeah, Dark Souls 3. Yeah, sure. I am.
Yes, I am. I am a Dark Souls fucking aficionado. So yes, I have pumped. I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but across 3 characters, I got 3 characters in Bloodborne, and they've each got about 80 hours of playtime on them. So yes, I am hyped for Dark Souls 3.
We're gonna have Call of Duty Ghosts 2 this year.
Of course, there's gonna be. But you know what? Hey, I did actually. Alcoholicost. I did play the closed beta of Dark Souls. I did. I talked about this in another podcast. I personally fucking loved it. The combat was very, very obviously influenced by Bloodborne. It was a little bit faster, a little bit more responsive. It still had that really slow, weighty, kind of, very meaningful swing, very attack style that the Dark Souls games are known for. And what I mean is, like, of course, Bloodborne didn't have shields. This does. So when a sword hits your shield, you could practically feel it in your bones. It was also very fucking difficult. The boss in the demo was the Dancer of the Frigid Valley, which is really cool, and it took me several hours to beat her, and I finally did. Unfortunately, you can't record any footage of the game, but I got invaded a few times, did some co-op. The cool thing about Dark Souls 3 is that everything in the past games has revolved around humanity. The kind of the aesthetic in Dark Souls 3 is embers. So when you're not undead, it's cool. There's this really cool effect where you've got burning embers flaking off your body the whole time. It's really fucking cool. So yeah, dude, Dark Souls 3 is going to be the fucking jam. That is the one game that Nathan Drake will have to wait for. When Dark Souls 3 comes out, I'm taking a day off work. I might take 2, and I will play the shit out of some Dark Souls. Absolutely. I can't fucking talk enough about Dark Souls. If I keep talking about it, I'm going to keep going. But yeah, so does anybody have anything else?
Are
we good? So I want to thank everybody who showed up in chat. This is the first episode we've had. We've been able to get our chat working. We had a lot of fun with you guys in here. A lot of fun answering your questions. For Johnny Superfly, who asked us a question on Twitter, shout out to you as well, dude. Please, guys, stick with us next week at Thursday at 8 o'clock, same time, and we'll have more to talk about. We'll be sure to answer all your questions. And again, this just you guys watching us, asking questions in chat. You guys made the podcast. This was fucking awesome.
That was a good one.
Thanks a lot, you guys, and Jeff. Thanks again for filling in for us. Jeff, if you guys don't know, Jeff looks like Jeff might be joining us on a permanent basis on the podcast. So, Jeff, welcome.
If he can remember to unmute his microphone next time.
Yeah, stop. If you could
I keep
actually,
it muted so you can't hear me chewing on my chips.
it's fine. Don't worry about it. But yes, please, bring some more Twitter peeps next Thursday, dude. We'd appreciate that. And all right, we'll end it here, guys. Great fucking podcast, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us. And I'll sign off with my usual. It may not always be poetry, and we may not always agree with each other. All you got to do is rewind to the first part of this episode to see why. But we always keep it real. See you later, guys.